It's 5:40 now, and you're listening to First Edition on AM 860 KPAM. I'm Tim Hole with Terry Travis.
And this weekend, and every weekend in September, you can step back in time at the Washington County Fairgrounds into the 16th century. Joining us live to talk about Hillsboro's Renaissance Fair, publisher of the Hillsboro Tribune, John Schrag. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Lord Tim and Lady Terry.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll do a little curtsy there.
Sorry,
for
we're
you.
not in character this early in the morning, John.
Why hast thou roused me at such an ungodly hour, you knave?
Oh, I'll try and be wench-like. You've already been out to the Renaissance Fair. Did you do any jousting while you were out there?
No, I did not do any jousting, but had a great time. We were there on opening day. I went with my son, who's a high school student, one of his friends, and just sort of soaked up the event. And until you really go, it's hard to understand what you're going to get to. And I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot more going on there than I thought. So it's a great event. I really encourage people to go out and check it out.
I remember there was a lot of excitement when we first talked to you about this event when it was first announced. Why a Renaissance Fair in Hillsboro, John?
Well, I think what they're finding is these Renaissance fairs and festivals are very successful around the country. Most of them have permanent exhibits, permanent spaces, which is what they wanted in Hillsboro. And there was a little talk about this about 6-7 years ago, and then it sort of fell apart, and they came back with the idea of, well, could we do it on a temporary basis? So that's why Hillsboro, because it's a great market, they think. I think the Portland market is good. And again, these are regional events. They draw from metropolitan areas around the country. So Hillsboro is good because the fairgrounds is available on weekends during the summer, this window of opportunity. And that's when you tend to see the Renaissance festivals, is in the good weather months. And they just feel like Oregon is a good market. They can even draw all the way down from Seattle if this thing really takes off.
So give us an idea of the scope. Does it take up the whole fairgrounds?
It doesn't take up the whole fairgrounds, but it takes up a good chunk of it. And you walk in through a gate, and one of the things that I thought was really interesting is the first vendor. The day I was there, the first vendor you encountered was a man selling roasted almonds, and ahead of me was two couples, two men, two women, and he called out to the fair lasses and asked whether they wanted to sample his warm nuts. And of course, it went on from there, and a lot of banter and double entendres. And I think that's part of the charm, is that these people, this is, for a lot of them, this is what they do. The vendors travel from festival to festival. And so they really get into it, and they like to engage the audiences. And people will come up to you in character and ask you directions to places, and then you sort of realize that this is part of the little skit going on. And if you don't want to play along, you don't have to. But if you want to engage them, it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would imagine that there's people that go to these sort of things as visitors and dress up and just get way into it.
Yeah, some people get way into it, and if you want to, you can rent costumes. I think for $40, you can be a lowly commoner, and if you want to spend $50, $60, you can get dressed up as a lord or a lady for the day. And that's the other thing. Your tickets are good for a whole day, and I wouldn't have thought of this, but people might want to come in the morning, take a break, go out to wine country, go out, explore some of the other parts of western Washington County. Even hit the malls, and then come back for the evening, because it is an all-day event. Your ticket gets you in for the whole day. I think the jousting is the highlight, and the way it works is the first show is sort of more of a demonstration. The second show is light contact, and then the evening show at 6 is full-on armor. And I didn't stay for that, but I'm definitely coming back. But in addition to the jousting, you have magic shows. You have a hypnotist, you have a sword swallower, there's a comic, there's a Celtic harpist, there's a Renaissance choir, and all those things are free. There's multiple stages, and all those events are free with your ticket. You can pay a little bit extra to take part in some games, some hammer, some axe throwing, other games of skill, and you can buy food. So you can walk in and spend a lot of money, or you can walk in after your ticket and not spend a dime, but you're going to want to get a turkey leg and I think some meat. and it's a great great day for families, groups. I would say if you can pull a group together, it'd be a lot of fun. And then particularly this weekend, online, their tickets are half sale for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So $10 a pop at half price. It's a pretty good value.
That is cool. Now, I got to ask, did you see the sword swallower? Did he really swallow it?
He really does. And the interesting thing is he's a comedian. So he's got a big shtick that goes on, and it's pretty entertaining. And again, these are all professional entertainers. It's not your next door neighbor who is learning the art of balloon making. These are people who do this, so they've got a shtick down. They know how to engage an audience, and it's pretty fun.
Well, good deal, John, and thanks so much for getting up at this ungodly hour.
Yeah.
And coming on the radio with us. Hey, before we let you go, I just have to say I was at the Hillsboro Hops game last night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was my finally finding my first Hops game of the season, and I know it's their second to last home game, but wow, what a well-run event. And there were 4,500 people there who stayed for most of the game when it rained on and off. I just thought it was great.
No, I think it's really been interesting that Hillsboro. I think what they're trying to let people know is there is life past the tunnel for you people in Portland, and yeah, you can come and watch a professional baseball game in Hillsboro. You can come and watch professional entertainment host a Renaissance festival. So yeah, come on out. It's going to be a nice but warm weekend, but the beer is cold, so don't worry. You can come out here and you'll have a good time.
Well, Sir John, good tidings to you and your family. We thank
ye
you
for joining us.
Yes.
Oh, and I will say your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries.
John, have a great weekend. Thanks for coming on the radio.
All right, take care, guys.
John Schrag, publisher of the Hillsboro Tribune, with us live here on First Edition.